What's up, Daily Fab Gamers? I'm Lupinefiasco. This is Daily Fab Gameplay, and just have a bit of an update. Today is Friday, April 4th. I'm leaving tomorrow for London, going a week ahead of the Pro Tour, and then playing the Pro Tour and flying back that following Monday. So, just want to let you know that there aren't going to be any videos over this next week. I thought about trying to crank some games out before I left and just post them a few days in advance and let you all respond, leave comments, watch them, whatever, but decided I'd rather focus on actual Pro Tour prep. I think that's going to make me feel a lot better going into the PT. Ultimately, it benefits all of you in that I'm getting reps with the deck that I am playing and getting draft practice, and just overall seems like it's better for everyone rather than putting out some more KO videos that, were maybe not entirely up to snuff. But pretty excited about the Pro Tour. This is my first Tier 4 event. Qualified for Nationals last year, US Nats, and again for this year, Nats is only at Tier 3. So I guess this is my second invite-only event. I'm a little nervous going into the PT. I know that stakes are a bit higher, and I would say that the average player's skill is definitely higher at a Pro Tour than it is at a Nationals. Even at a US Nationals, one of the biggest ones, if not the biggest, just because it's harder to qualify for that PT. This one is in London, so at least a lot of my American counterparts might not be able to make the trip. Definitely a little more exclusive. How do I feel going into it? Okay, definitely a lot better earlier this week. I've been taking some beatings in practice. I like Aurora, love Aurora, really enjoy playing the deck. She does have sort of this unfortunate downside that I try to avoid when I pick my heroes, in that she is the best deck. She is far and away the most popular. She is performing very well, converting these high representation rates into a high top 8 percentage, which means that she is the most targeted deck. And even if your deck can't actually produce any sort of hate for her, any specific tech cards, you know how to play against Aurora. And what I really enjoyed historically is bringing decks that are not the best deck. So playing Phi back when Lexi was the best deck in Classic Constructed meant that I got an edge on the people I was playing against because they didn't know what my deck did, but I knew what their deck did. Even KO back in the Zen meta was kind of a known quantity, but he wasn't really being targeted the same way that Zen is. They share a lot of hate. Something like the Weakest Link affects Zen and KO equally, but cards like Crush the Weak, Spinal Crush from Guardians affect Zen disproportionately in a way that they don't affect KO. Now, at the time, Zen was just completely overpowered and broken, so it didn't really matter what you did to try to beat him. He would just kill you with a 50 damage turn 2 anyway, but the point is, I enjoy not playing the best deck. I like to play good decks. If I can play the best aggro deck, I will. But in general, playing the best deck means that you are the most targeted. Everyone knows what your deck does. Everyone knows how to play against you. And with a roster of 30 plus heroes, you can only do so much practice into what you think the most represented and best decks will be. But for example, I just lost a game to a Kasai, who really just had my number, was teched for me, knew how to play the matchup, and I'm going into it thinking, didn't this hero die in heavy hitters? Apparently not. So I'm feeling a little nervous going into it. There are definitely some changes I need to make to the deck that I've been practicing with. As such, I'm bringing maybe 50 more cards than I can actually play with me to London. So packing my deck box full of 130, 140 cards. We'll whittle that down to 80 over the course of the week and just determine what do I like, what do I not like, what has been performing well, what was performing well but no longer is. Scar for a Scar is a great example of a card that I was playing 3 of when I won my Road to Nationals event a few weeks ago, and since then I'm really falling off of the decks that I really benefit playing Scar for a Scar against. So the Aurora Mirror, aggressive heroes like Zen are either playing more defensively and maybe playing better value and I can't get below them on life, or I'm playing against your News and Enigmas and Florians and decks that are never going to be below me on life until they maybe take a pivot turn and take some damage, but I can't rely on Scar for a Scar for that specific instance, and in the meantime, it only blocks 2, it isn't lightning, it doesn't have an on-hit. So compared to something like Static Shock that I cut, I'm now looking at putting back in. So bringing a bunch of cards with me to just build as best I can the best 80 that I think will perform the best. Been getting reps over the last few weeks playing against other members of Metal Fab Tokens, which has been just fantastic. Really good group of guys, really enjoying that practice compared to where I was a little over a year ago prepping for Battle Hardened Cincinnati and feeling like I was not getting effective practice. And even compared to calling Portland, where I felt like I wasn't doing enough, the last few weeks with Team Metal Fab has just been fantastic. Been getting really, really good reps, and I think as I'm preparing to practice for U.S. Nationals, looking down the road, I just want to get more of that. Anytime that I'm not working in the office, try and schedule some friendlies against teammates or locals or whoever, get some quality reps. Been doing my best with Aurora, but it's hard to take that to random Talishar and feel like, hey, this is the quality of game that I want to be seeing, because I don't know who's sitting on the other side of the computer. I don't know how proficient they are in the hero they're playing. This is what I was talking about a little over a year ago, prepping for Battle Hardened Cincinnati with Kadachi Phi, and just absolutely stomping everyone on Talishar, and then realizing that people who are at this Battle Hardened actually know what the heck is going on with my hero, and really losing percentage points against people who just know how to block. How do I feel about draft? I feel okay. I've done enough Runaways drafts at this point that I feel like I have a pretty decent handle on the format. I at least know what a 3-0 deck for each hero looks like. I don't particularly enjoy the Hunted format, not nearly as much as I liked Rosetta. I thought Rosetta was just good, clean, flesh and blood, and Hunted is all about reactions, not letting yourself get below a certain life total, or else you just have to start aggressively blocking everything in case you die. But even from a healthy life total, sometimes you just get hit for 12 in a turn because your opponent attacked for 3. You didn't block it thinking you had plenty of runway, and then they just play 3 reactions from hand, and that really sucks. There's just a lot of variance based on when do people draw the reactions, how many reactions do they have, who won the die roll even is much more relevant in Hunted than it was in Rosetta. So I don't particularly like this format, but I do like to think that I'm getting better at it and can hopefully convert that into some wins. At least not feeling like I'm getting blown out by variance too much. There's only so much you can do if you're in a Syndromere and lose the die roll, or if your deck has 10 blues in it and you don't draw any of them for the first 2 turns of the game. Happened to me. Lost with what felt like a really good Fang deck just because it couldn't function on 2 hands of only reds. So overall, going into the PT, feeling fine, and could be better, could be worse. Nothing that a week of really intense nonstop practice with my teammates staying at the Airbnb, and hopefully anyone that we run into at local pubs can't fix. Speaking of running into people, I will be in London. It's my first time leaving the US, aside from a week-long trip to Cabo, which, let's be real, is just California South. So really excited to be going to London. If you are European-based and you're going to be at the PT or going to the calling or even just going to be in the venue and you see me, come up and say hi. I love meeting people at the conventions. Really nice to shake hands, give high fives, hugs, take pictures, just talk to people about Flesh and Blood and their engagement with me and my channel. If you're a patron, I've broadcasted this a couple of times, but if you're watching this, I just want to make it really, really clear. I will be bringing your patron tokens with me. That's the Crouching Bun, Embodiment of Moof, and now the new Aurora Marvel. If you want those tokens, make sure to ask me for them, because I will have them. I really want to give them to you. I don't do shipping outside of the US because it is exorbitantly expensive, but I'm going to be there in person. So if you are a patron and you want your tokens, come up and say hi, and make sure you get those from me. If you're not a patron and you just want to say hi, come up and say hi. I'm going to try to be a little transparent about where I am after each day of the event. I know that it can be difficult to find people in these packed convention halls, and maybe you're going to be looking for me at the top tables and, I'm at the bottom tables, or vice versa. Who knows? Not going to get too down on myself. The one thing I will say is if a round just ended and you see me sprinting to the bathroom because my new or Florian opponent took me to time, probably not the best time to flag me down, but certainly any other time, come up, say hi. Love meeting people, love to talk to you. Do me a favor, and if we've met before, remind me from where. Really bad with names and faces and general memory puzzles. I think that's it. Just wanted to put out a quick little video, make sure you all know that I didn't forget about you next week. I'm just not going to be home to make content, and so I would rather focus on the PT prep. This is my first PT. Really excited about it. My goal for the weekend is to get good high-level reps with Aurora and get more comfortable playing in these high-stakes competitive situations. I try not to set objective-based goals anymore because it never feels good when you go out of your way, take this trip, play in a competitive event, really set yourself up to do well and then lose. Very frustrating, very discouraging. So try not to set too many objective-based goals. My objective-based goal is to get to day 2. Never day 2'd an invite event before. Didn't quite make it in US Nats last year, so really trying to get to day 2. If I can do even better than that, if I can cash, if I can make it to day 3, that would be incredible, really gratifying, a dream come true for my Flesh and Blood career. But really just onward and upward. If I can do better at this event than I did at the last event, then that's a win. But just in general, the fact that I am going to the PT, that I made the cut, and I'm able to attend, and I can get these high-level reps, that is worth playing for. That's the whole thing. Flesh and Blood, any hobby is a journey. If I don't do well at this event, there's no telling that I won't do well at the next event, and I will have at least learned something about playing at these high-level events, preparing for these high-level events, how I work as a player and my best avenue to success. And happy to be doing it with a deck that I really enjoy and really feel comfortable with, and will be spending the next week really tweaking and improving. So really, to summarize, thank you all for watching this. I won't be making content next week. At some point the week after, I'll put up my travelogue recap video and maybe some gameplay review as I prepare for Battle-Hardened Santa Clara. Bringing Aurora, feel okay. Excited to get more practice. Preparing for Hunted Draft, feel okay. Excited to get more practice. If you see me at the convention center, come up and say hi. If you're a patron, please ask for your token so I can give them to you. If I'm sprinting to the bathroom, don't say hi then. Wait until later. And hopefully I'll see you there. If you're playing in the PT, good luck, unless you're playing against me, in which case, bad luck. But have fun, and I will talk to you all later. Until the next time I see you on Daily Fab Gameplay, take care.